Hi, superstars. Come on in and welcome back to another episode of Human Design in Real Life. If you're new here, I'm Erica. Thank you for subscribing to your new favorite podcast where I answer viewers' questions every week to help them make sense of how they're designed to thrive in real life. I'm a social scientist, and I combine my expertise and my philosophies of human design and astrology, sociology, biology, and even organizational psychology. I synergize all of those different languages to translate how your energy best expresses itself. That way, you can find your way to the best experiences possible in your life, leadership, and relationships. Now, I'm excited about today's questions because it's about career. Now, I'm a licensed human design for business, BG5 analyst, and my MBA is in human resources management. So I really enjoy ushering people through their professional journey because it's such a huge part of who we are. Now, with my private clients, I even incorporate Ikigai, the understanding of the purpose of life. Now, that includes uncovering what you are naturally good at, what you love to do, what the world needs from you, and what you can be paid for. And so, collectively, those questions provide the answer to your reason for being a human being. Now, I learned about that when I was living in Tokyo for 4 years. So, it will always be a joy to be able to combine that with my corporate experience to develop leaders and teams. So let's get into today's question. It's short and sweet, but it's heavy. It reads, I'm a generator starting a new career path. I'm responding well and I'm good at what I do, but I do feel pressure to perform better. Is that from being a 5-1 profile? Okay. So my answer to that question with the information you've given me in your chart is maybe. Maybe because it's stemming from either one of your type or your profile, which is also called your public role in human design for business. But I'm going to assume you have a decent grip on being a generator because you spoke about responding well and being good at what you do. So that sounds like alignment and satisfaction are in order. So, with what you have given me and based on your question, I'll just focus on what role your profile, the 5-1, plays as you embark on your new career path, okay? Now, this is an interesting one because the profiles that have 5 and 6 as the first number, which is about a third of the population, they cannot fulfill their purpose without other people. Now, it's not that they are dependent on others, but their life's work is activated and is intertwined with their connections and interactions with others. So let's look a little deeper. I want to be sure that you really get what your profile is all about. Well, at least best that I can summarize in this episode without talking to you in real time. So there's a fascinating tension that exists inside of the 5-1 profile. And this can make a new work environment or a career path feel really intense because when someone with this profile walks in, they automatically get treated like they're the panacea or the problem solver or the answered prayer. One of the easiest ways to understand human design is to think about it in layers. So your type and strategy tells us how you're designed to participate and communicate. And then your authority tells us how you're designed to make decisions. But what your profile does is tell us the role you're naturally designed to play in the social world. When you've heard me say, this is your main character energy in my Astrology of Authority video series, I'm pulling from a piece of your profile. The role you're designed to play on the world stage. I'm not just saying a popular catchphrase when I say main character energy. I mean it. Align with your actual role, not the one that someone else gave you or molded you into. It's the costume life keeps handing you, whether you ordered it or not, and whether you like it or not. This is how others typecast you. So it's best to understand what you're working with and how other people experience you. Your profile shapes how people perceive you, what they expect from you, what lessons tend to repeat, and the themes that follow you throughout life. And that's important because people often think stress comes from their type. I mean, sometimes it does, but many workplace experiences or whatever group that you are actually in is a profile experience. Now, let's add on another layer. Every profile consists of two numbers. Your numbers are 5 and 1. Now, the first number is from the conscious side of the column on the right side of your chart, and the second number is from the unconscious column on the left. Now, I teach these as strategy and signal. The strategy is what you're aware of, and your signal is what other people are picking up from you as they're experiencing you, your Wi-Fi signal that you broadcast out. That first number feels familiar to you probably, and it's how you would describe yourself. That second number, that shows up through your behaviors or your patterns, how you react to things, and what others see in you before you see it. So you are consciously and even strategically experiencing life through that fifth line while unconsciously broadcasting out that first line Wi-Fi signal. And that's where things get pretty interesting for you because that fifth line and that first line, they have very different priorities. Let's start with the conscious side, the fifth line, the heretic, the practical problem solver, the fixer, the person people look toward when they believe something needs to be solved. Now, a fifth line often walks into a workplace carrying invisible expectations. Nobody says it out loud, but energetically, it sounds like, can you help us? Can you fix this? You seem like you know. You probably have the answer. That projection field all around the fifth line is powerful and a little seductive. People project competence onto you along with leadership expectations because they have deemed you capable and feel like you can rescue them. Now, this is because they feel a little deja vu around you. They can energetically sense that you can help clean up their karma. And because of that, it's healthy for you to keep a little distance and be mindful to keep your fans out of the friends and family section of your life. And you just got there. So this might even surprise you a little because you likely haven't tried to sell yourself or feel like you've done anything extraordinary to have this benefit of the doubt kind of just thrown at you. Now, I've advised many fifth lines, and I actually have two in my personal tribe. I've heard them say that it can feel great until the expectations become unrealistic. Because people don't project who you actually are. They project who they need you to be. And that's when it stops being fun and games. Now, having fans is fun at first, but this is where many fifth lines get exhausted. Not from the work necessarily, especially you as a generator. You can handle the work as long as you're aligned and you're loving what you're doing. This type of exhaustion comes from carrying everyone else's expectations, which also comes with always having your reputation at play. Because if you're not careful, you live by the cheers, you'll fold when they boo. And if you let them build you up, that gives them the power to tear you down. I encourage fifth lines to wear hater blockers, sunglasses, because people really think that they know you and they don't. They honestly can never see you for who you really are at your core. Now, underneath all of that sits your unconscious first line, the investigator, the researcher, the foundation builder, the person who wants a solid ground beneath their feet. The first line doesn't want assumptions. The first line wants evidence, preparation, knowledge, understanding, confidence, competence, depth, security. It likes it when it's had time to prepare and educate itself so it can eventually become the authority of its area of interest. Think of the first line as that introverted part of you. Now, I'm a first line, but mine is conscious. And I assure you, there are times that I forget other people exist when I'm locked in on something. If I could put life on D&D while I'm researching or studying, I would. I mean, I kind of do. I'm so grateful for my loved ones, and I know that we know each other's design, so they accept me and they give me grace if I accidentally neglect them while I'm working because it doesn't feel like work to me or any other first line. It's just life. It's fun. It has to happen because I get very self absorbed and I can't relax until I get to a stopping point when I'm working on something. Now, that's very different energy from the fifth line. So there is that tension I was saying, and that confusion also comes in. The outside world says, we believe you can handle this. Meanwhile, your internal signal says, let me double check everything first. That first line is not trying to impress people. That first line is trying to eliminate uncertainty. It wants to feel secure because security creates confidence, and confidence builds stability. So when a 5-1 enters a new workplace, there's often a natural desire to learn everything: policies and procedures, systems, the culture, the expectations. Not because you're insecure, but because your first line wants to build a foundation. So, in your submission, when you said, I'm doing well, but I feel pressure to perform better, the first thing I coach you through is, where is that pressure actually coming from? You, or is it coming from those projections? Because those are very different experiences. The internal pressure from your first line versus the external pressure from others due to your fifth line. Now, sometimes a fifth line enters a new workplace and immediately receives signals like, we're glad you're here, and you're exactly what the team needed. We have high expectations and hopes for you. And while those comments sound positive and welcoming, a fifth line can unconsciously hear, don't let us down. The pressure isn't always about performance. Like I mentioned, sometimes it's about your reputation. For a 5-1, reputation matters more than any other profile. You naturally have free fans, but that fun and your reputation is also in their hands because the fifth line lives in the world of projections, like I've been saying. It can feel like Hollywood smoke and mirrors sometimes. It's very surreal. People will talk about you. People will create stories about you too. People will decide who they think you are. You can literally become the man, the myth, the legend. Meanwhile, your first line just wants integrity. It wants the foundation to match that reputation. It wants the actual competence behind that confidence, the substance behind the image, and that reality behind that projection. Now, when these two energies do work together, it's beautiful. The result is extraordinary. A person who can genuinely solve problems because they took the time to understand the problem, not because they were just pretending to know, not because they were just performing, pretending to be an expert, but because they actually built the expertise. Now, you didn't mention your field of work, so I'll just pull from the executive world I used to operate in. So, if you're a corporate baddie as a 5-1, I can imagine you've been at the company. Day one, 5 hours, 15 minutes. People are already asking you to take a look at this and see if this is correct, or saying, hi, I hear you're really good at process improvement. And I'm just looking at the placements in your chart to tell me how you expand others in your leadership. You have an instinct for noticing when something's out of place. So that's why I said process improvement or reviewing a procedure. Now, I'm not a 5-1, but I do carry the fifth line in the area of my chart where I was just looking at yours and I saw that you're good at process improvement. Listen, I kid you not. By the end of the day, on my first day, when I finally created my password and logged into my email as Chief Diversity Officer, I already had an email from an individual welcoming me and letting me know of an exclusion problem they needed resolved. And that fifth line in my human design chart falls in the 11th house of my astrology chart. And that tells me that in organizations, I will be the one looked at to solve problems in an innovative way with my individual insights in the unique way that I translate and distill down complex information so others can understand it and apply it. And that's just one aspect of my life. I can only imagine how heavy it is to have a 5-1 and carrying that as your main character energy every single day, all day, in all environments that you're in. They probably look for you to hit the ground running with your 5, while your first line is like, I just got here. And I haven't even started that cybersecurity training video that I have to do or got my parking pass. But I do know your first line is going to get on it. It's going to get to reading all of those reports from last year and cross-referencing and digging into that SOP to make sure when your fifth line does dazzle the crowd, that she's on point and backed up with facts, not just fanfare. Your biggest not self trap that you need to overcome is trying to live up to those projections. An unevolved 5-1 often believes that, everyone expects me to know the answer or to do the thing right the first time. They feel that pressure to impress and rescue and perform or prove. Well, you do have a defined ego center. So you are part of that 37% of the population born with something to prove. But this question is not about that. And we can get into your ego and your willpower in our private coaching session. And those gates don't have fifth lines in it anyway. So we're good there. Now, as an evolved and self-aware 5-1 that has learned that their reputation is not built by pretending to know, but is built by investigating first, that first line, and solving second, your fifth line. Now, she knows how to use that unconscious first line to first gather all the facts and then lead with her conscious fifth line to deliver the solutions. An immature 5-1 would be in a situation and their boss would probably say something like, hey, well, I just call you Barbie. Hey, Barbie, can you take the lead on this project? And you're like, sure. While inside, you're like, I have no idea what this project is. So you'll go spend all weekend researching. And then you show on Monday with a 27-page implementation plan and everyone applauds and you're exhausted because you haven't learned that not every problem that you are capable of solving is your responsibility to solve. So rewind that. When you play this back, listen good to what I just said. Every problem is not your responsibility to solve. Now, mature corporate baddie or Barbie would be like, well, thanks for recognizing me. I have been looking at that prospect developing over time. Let's meet on Monday because I like to share some thoughts and perspectives from my research with you first. As a 5-1 entering a new environment, don't rush your foundation. Your first line needs that time. And don't believe every projection that comes your way. Your fifth line naturally attracts them, and there's nothing you can do about that. The blessed are always under surveillance. Let your reputation emerge from demonstrated competence, not from pressure, not from being perfect. And remember, you don't have to become the hero on day one. You just need to stay responsive to what is genuinely in front of you. You're a generator. So your job is not to manufacture performance. Your job is to respond to life in a way that's correct for you. I see that you have the channel of executive function, that 5342. So you're specifically designed to respond to life when it's time to begin or end a new cycle and usher others in and out of an experience so that evolution can occur. What a lovely assignment and calling you have on your life. You have a beautiful blend of individual and collective strengths with only a few tribal gates. So overall, this design is for empowering yourself first and then sharing with the larger collective, especially strangers, like a change agent that comes just in the nick of time, and they need you to prevent them from being stuck, circling at the bottom, instead of embracing life cycles and leveling up. The expertise will come, the trust will build up, that reputation will be established. But the strongest 5-1 leaders understand something very important. Your integrity is more invaluable than your image. And remember to save yourself sometimes too. Take a break if you get frustrated. You're only human, although you feel like Superwoman to others. And when your foundation and your reputation finally do align, that's when the 5-1 becomes the messenger of authority. All right, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you for inviting me to share my advice and insights. I trust that they will serve you well. When you're ready to meet yourself at a deeper level, schedule your private session with me at satorisynergy.com/services. That was good. I hope everyone got either a new or deeper knowledge about the 5-1 public role and how it works. Let me know if you're a 5-1 and your type, because I hope you feel a little more comfortable in the skin that you're in. If you'd like me to answer your human design question on a future episode of Human Design in Real Life, you know what to do. Pull your chart from my website and send it to me via email or private message on social media, along with your question. Who knows? One episode may be all about you. Until next time, go be great, superstar.